What's up, guys? Ballhub back with another video. Today, what I'm going to talk about is the top 5 trades slash free agents that are available this offseason. And it might be more than 5 too, but I'm just going to be highlighting on the main ones. So, basically, I'm just going to get right into it. As you all know, the draft was on Thursday, and there were some good picks, there were some bad picks. There were some steals of the draft, cough cough, Michael Porter, but there were also some head scratching moments. But yeah, we're gonna get to that when we get to trades and free agency. So basically, the first trade, the first trade that is projected to be occurring is the Kawhi Leonard trade. Now this is a very peculiar situation because you guys know the Spurs are like a very quiet, they don't have a lot of drama. They don't have anything behind the scenes that goes on that really troubles their environment. But this is like the first time when a player wanted to be traded. Well, the second time because LaMarcus Aldridge wanted to be traded last year, but that was fine. This is the first time where a player actually wants out. So, and he's a top 5 player in the league, which is very odd because his reasoning is that number one, he wants to be in a big market, and then he also he doesn't want to be the first option or the go-to guy, which is weird because he's a top 5 player in the league. There's not many guys that are better than him, so there's not many places he can go to and be happy at the same time. So there are many options that the Spurs could go with here. They've already stated that they're not going to trade into a team in the Western Conference, which I think is pretty smart because you don't want any other team in the West becoming a contender to you or just adding on to stacked West teams already. However, I do wish I wish I could have seen him in the Lakers. Traded Brandon Ingram for him. Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, a couple picks. I think that could have gotten Kawhi Leonard on the Lakers. They would still have cap space for 2 other free agents. So you get a guy like Paul George, and then you get LeBron, who's also rumored to go to the Lakers. Or if you don't get Paul George, you can get a guy like DeMarcus Cousins. So you can just experiment. After you get Kawhi Leonard, you still have space for 2 free agents. You can only get Kawhi and have space for two free agents if you trade the Luol Deng contract. So if you could do Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, a couple picks plus Luol Deng, I think that would be a win-win situation for both teams because the Spurs, they already know Kawhi Leonard wants to be traded. They're not going to get that much for him because the whole world knows that he wants to be traded. So you got a young core and DeJounte Murray. You got Josh Hart at shooting guard, and then you have Brandon Ingram at small forward. Depends on who you want to play power forward and center. You could try to get rid of Pau Gasol's contract, but I don't know who'd want that. He's already 39. He's making double digits in this year and next year. So yeah, he's gonna be getting paid. So, but I think the Spurs can start resetting because Greg Popovich is about to retire soon, maybe 2 or 3 years, and then he's done. So you don't want a guy like you don't want to waste your years trying to compete against the Warriors or the Rockets or any other super team, which you're not going to be able to beat unless you get a guy like LeBron in free agency, which I think is very unlikely for the Spurs because they're going to have to get rid of a lot of contracts like Pau Gasol, as I mentioned, Patty Mills, Danny Green, and it's just going to be a mess if you try to get LeBron. So I don't think they should do that, even though Pop has said that he's going to force a meeting with him. We'll see how that goes. So we'll stick to Kawhi. I would like to see him on the Lakers, but I guess what they're doing is pretty smart. They're not going to trade into a Western Conference team. So, which leaves the Eastern Conference. They're really in the East. There's really 4 teams that maybe 3. One is pretty questionable. I'm just saying it because I'm a Heat fan, and I think the Heat could have a chance. But 3 main teams could have a chance to get Kawhi Leonard, and I'd say that's the Celtics, the 76ers, and the Cavs. I don't know. The Celtics, they have, as you know, they have a bunch of picks. They have a bunch of young assets. They could trade either Brown or Tatum, one of those two. I prefer they trade Brown because Tatum looks like he has a higher ceiling than Kawhi. But if you're looking for fit, then it would be better to trade Tatum because Jaylen Brown is naturally a 2 guard instead of a 3. Jason Tatum is a 3 guard, and he can play some 4, but he can't play the shooting guard that well either. So you would have to, if you're looking for best player, you'd trade Brown, but if you're looking for fit, you'd have to trade Tatum. If they add Kawhi Leonard, then they're gonna like cakewalk through the East. I mean, no conference is a cakewalk with LeBron in it, but like if LeBron stays on the Cavs, he can like compete with them. But at the end of the day, the Celtics will just be too good with like Kyrie. They'll have either Brown or Tatum. They'll have Kawhi. They'll have Gordon Hayward's coming back. Al Horford is also a ridiculous matchup for whoever their center is. Because they drafted Colin Sexton, who's not really that much of an up. Like he's okay, I guess. I mean, I wanted them taking Wendell Carter, but Wendell Carter was already taken, so I guess they had to take the best player available, which was Colin Sexton. So he can't shoot. He can't shoot at all. His shot is very questionable. He can drive, which is good. He can play defense, which is good. But he can't shoot the 3. So when LeBron drives and kicks to him, he's not gonna be a threat. People can just double team off of him. So I don't know if that's supposed to make LeBron convinced to stay, but we'll see. What I've heard, well, actually no, I'm gonna stay on Kawhi. I'm gonna go to LeBron next, but I'm gonna stay on Kawhi. So, like I said, the Celtics could be an option. 76ers, just because they have guys like they got guys like Fultz, who if they want to trade, they can trade up. I don't know if he's part of their long-term core yet, because I mean when he played, he was okay. He got a triple-double, but he didn't even shoot any shots. He didn't shoot any jump shots. That's what I mean. He just drove to the basket pretty much. They could trade him. They could trade Covington. They could trade one of those picks, any of those picks they have. That'd be pretty interesting. So that, and then the Cavs, who, I mean, I don't know. I prefer that if Kawhi was supposed to be traded to the Cavs, I'd prefer that they would be trading him before the draft, because they don't really need Colin Sexton. The Spurs don't really need a point guard because they already got DeJounte Murray. I guess they could play Murray or Sexton at shooting guard if they had pulled the trigger on that trade for the Cavs. But what I think the Cavs could do is maybe give them Colin Sexton and Tristan Thompson, someone, or I don't know, J.R. Smith, someone like that. If they trade Colin Sexton and Kevin Love, that might be too much to give up for Kawhi, because Kawhi, yeah, he's a top 5 player, but he's also A, coming off an injury, B, his trade value is decreased because the whole world knows he wants to be traded, so that wouldn't be good. So yeah, then the last team that kind of makes sense for him, it would be a really good fit, is the Heat, because the Heat lack any like wing. They lack wing talent. I guess they have like young pieces, but like they're not like experienced or anything. Dwayne Wade is probably gonna retire soon. We don't know if he's gonna retire or not, but he's voiced that he's gonna retire soon, if not this year. Justice Winslow hasn't really shown that the potential. He's a very good defender, but he hasn't expanded that offensive game yet. Josh Richardson is a very, very good 3-and-D guy, but I see him more of as a 2 rather than a 3. Tyler Johnson needs to be traded. His contract is just way too big. James Johnson also needs to be traded. He's $30 million. I mean, he's 30 years old, and he's getting paid $10 million per year, so he probably needs to get moved. So I think the Heat need to get some wing depth. They almost had Gordon Hayward last year, which was pretty good, but he went to the Celtics because he wanted to be with his former coach. So yeah, I think if the Heat trade a guy like Winslow, maybe Tyler Johnson, Josh Richardson, one of those 3, and package them with someone else, and like maybe a first round pick or something. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. And then they could get Kawhi. So I don't know. It would be interesting for the Heat. It would probably be a good trade for the Spurs because they would be replacing that wing that they would have lost with Kawhi with a guy like Winslow or a guy like Richardson or a guy like Johnson. So yeah, depends on who they want to trade for, but I think those 4 teams in the East would be ideal for Kawhi and would be a good match for the Spurs as well. All right, next, I'm actually going to save LeBron for a bit, but we're going to go to Kemba Walker. So Kemba had been rumored to be traded all last season. This free agency too has been an ideal, like his name has been in the trade rumors as well. And I think Kemba Walker is going to be either, if he gets traded, he's going to be either part of the Cavs or the Knicks. Is what I'm feeling. I think the Cavs will give up Colin Sexton. First of all, the Hornets were the losers of this draft because they picked up Miles Bridges, who's a terrible pick for them. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a good player. He got picked in the lottery. He's good, but they picked Shai Gilgeous and traded him for Miles Bridges when they already have a guy like Batum who's getting bank, and they already have a guy like Michael Gilchrist who plays the same position. Instead, they could have just kept their pick of Shai Gilgeous, and because they already knew that they're probably going to trade Kemba this offseason, so they needed someone to replace him. But instead, they traded him for Miles Bridges. And I don't know, man. Jordan, he was good as a player, but as a GM, he makes some questionable moves sometimes. And I don't know. They just need to get their stuff together. By the way, I think the winners of the draft were the Atlanta Hawks, and I'll come back to that later. But the Atlanta Hawks are definitely the winners of the draft to me. Some people might say that no, they traded Luka Doncic for a guy like Trae Young, who many people label as a bust, but I don't really see it yet. So, but yeah, I think they're the winners of the draft because they got Trae Young, the guy they wanted, and they also got the other shooting guy, Kevin, whoever. I can't pronounce his last name, but they got him. They got a first round pick, top 5 protected to the Mavs, for the Mavs, and then yeah, they're taking the Warriors approach, trying to get the next Steph Curry, Klay Thompson backcourt, and the guy who actually orchestrated those trades used to be the GM of the Warriors too, so he knows what he's doing. They were the winners of the draft to me. Orlando Magic finally got in the right direction by picking a guy like Mo Bamba. They can now trade Vucevic, move on from him, try to get a better point guard because Shelvin Mack isn't going to cut it. Try to get a guy like Isaiah Thomas in free agency maybe. But yeah. So Kemba Walker, I could see him on the Cavs or the Knicks. The Knicks because they got guys to trade. I don't know if they could trade either Moutier or Ntilikina. I don't know how much Moutier's value is right now, but maybe they could trade Ntilikina. If not, if they value Ntilikina too much, they could probably trade some picks. They could trade whoever they Trey Burke. They could trade someone. And Kemba Walker and Porzingis would be nasty in the pick and roll or the pick and pop. But yeah, I think the Knicks could be a destination, and also the Cavs because Colin Sexton, as I said, could get moved along with a guy like J.R. Smith or Tristan Thompson or any pick or something like that. Yeah, that's about it for Kemba. He's a big name, but he's not like that. Like his name hasn't been that like spread around as it has for like Leonard and LeBron and Paul George, as I'm gonna get to him. So yeah. All right, next we're gonna have Paul George. So Paul George, as I mentioned earlier, his name has been floating around for quite a while, like Kemba Walker, but on a larger scale. So many people, he himself, like 2 years ago, said he wanted to go to the Lakers. And I don't know if he had a change of heart, but I think his 2 possible free agent destinations could be either the Lakers or the Sixers, or he could stay back with the Thunder. So that's 3 possible, not 2. Sorry. So I'll start off with the team he's on right now, the Thunder. So with Carmelo staying, he accepted his player option, 27 million, as many people knew he would, because who the heck would deny 27 million dollars, especially when you're a contender. So yeah, Carmelo accepted his option. Paul George, he could stay in Oklahoma City. That's a very likely possibility. You know, the same four, the big four with Steven Adams, Melo, Paul George, Russell Westbrook. And they were at their worst last year, and they were a 4 seed. So imagine what they could do if they were at their best. Just imagine that. So he could stay with the Thunder, but he could also go to the Lakers, because everyone knows he wants to be home. He wants to, he just wants to be home. Wants to be the face of a team again, and also wants to be surrounded by good pieces. So the Lakers could be a destination. Get a guy like LeBron and him together. Maybe if LeBron comes to the Lakers, we'll see about that. But yeah, if he goes to the Lakers, it'll be a perfect situation for him. Lonzo Ball would have a field day passing to him, and Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma, and whoever the heck their center is. But yeah, I think he can go to the Lakers, but he can also go to the Sixers, make that super team with Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and yeah, that's about it. And Fultz, if he's any good, like he doesn't have to be like a star or like an all-star. He just has to be, James Harden on the Thunder, just be a nice 6-man or a nice role player to help them complement the guys like Ben Simmons, a scorer. He needs to be a scorer. I think Simmons is not a scorer. Fultz can be a scorer if he actually I guess he can be a scorer. He needs to just, if he's a scorer, then they'll be all right. Paul George is a scorer. Joel Embiid, I guess, is a scorer, but he's also a defender. So he's like everything. He's like a multi-tool. So yeah, Paul George, I'd either have him go to the Lakers, stay on the Thunder, or go to the 76ers. All right, so I think we've done 3 names so far, and I think I said top 5. So I'm probably gonna do 2 more. The next one is LeBron. So, LeBron hasn't really said anything. He hasn't spoken to any of the coaching staff or any of his teammates. He hasn't said a word. But there have been a lot of rumors leaked that, LeBron wants to either go to LA or stay in Cleveland. LeBron wants to go to the 76ers. LeBron wants to go back to Miami. LeBron wants to team up with CP3 and James Harden on the Rockets. There's a lot of rumors. Everything is flying around. LeBron has been, I don't know, man. If you Google LeBron's name every day, there's gonna be something about him. I guarantee you. I haven't done it yet, but I guarantee there's gonna be something about his free agency or something like about him. So yeah, LeBron, what makes sense to me, I guess, well, obviously he wants to win a ring. I feel like joining the Rockets is the best way to do that. Either that or the 76ers. I feel like if he goes to the Lakers and even if he gets a guy like Paul George, I don't know. Like Paul George and LeBron, I don't know if that's enough to take down the Warriors, to be honest with you. That's literally, Paul George would be forced to be a second option again. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I guess Lonzo would have a field day, like I said, passing the ball. Brandon Ingram, I guess, Kyle Kuzma. They'll have a good young core. But do you really want a guy like LeBron hindering your development, like your youth, like your future? Do you really want a guy like LeBron setting them back a couple years? Because LeBron about to bring some shooters, some veteran guys like a Kyle Korver, like he had, like some veteran guys that can contribute. And a problem with a lot of LeBron teams is that when he's gone to the finals, he's really lacked a bench. I don't know if the Lakers are gonna have a bench, like a legitimate bench. I don't know if Isaiah Thomas is gonna come back. If he comes back, they'll be a pretty solid, I guess. Caldwell Pope, he hasn't done anything. Luol Deng, their bench isn't even that good. But yeah, they have to see what they're gonna do with Julius Randle. I don't know where he's gonna go. It's all whack right now. Like all these LeBron teams have lacked a bench, and he's needed to pick up guys like Shane Battier, Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson, all these old dudes for the minimum who haven't done anything whatsoever. So he needs to go to somewhere deep, and I don't like. Yeah, the only exception is the Rockets, because they have a coach who only plays like 7 guys every game and still manages to win games. But if LeBron goes to the Rockets, they're gonna have to give up guys like Ariza, who is their defensive stopper on Durant. And like, but they'll still have that more offensive power. So if Chris Paul and Harden are missing threes, like how the team missed 27 in a row in Game 7, then LeBron can, because nobody can stop LeBron. Close to nobody can stop James Harden unless he's shooting awful. And Chris Paul is always gonna find assists. He might be like off on shooting, but he's always gonna be a threat to play make. So that, and one thing I forgot to mention with Kawhi Leonard is, if LeBron goes to the Spurs, I guess that could be good. I know how I said that LeBron going to the Spurs wouldn't be good, but like if he goes to the Spurs, there's a possibility that with LeBron, Kawhi, and Aldridge, these are 3 guys that the Warriors can't stop at all. Like no matter who you put on them. They have a guy like Kawhi who can play some defense. DeJounte Murray can play some defense on Curry. Kawhi can play some defense on Durant. But the only reason I said it might not happen, I never said it wasn't a good fit. The only reason I said it might not happen is because they'd have to get rid of so many contracts, like Pau Gasol, Patty Mills, like all these guys would have to go. But at least, I guess LeBron to the Spurs would be nice as well, because he'd have a bench. Manu's going to fill it up in the playoffs. Danny Green, I don't know if he needs to be moved or not, but he's always a good 3-and-D guy to have. But their starting lineup could be DeJounte Murray, DeJounte Murray, LeBron, Kawhi, LaMarcus. And I don't care who the dang shooting guard is at that point. All right, just pick up some veteran dude. Bryn Forbes can start. All right, Bryn Forbes can start. They'll be good. They'll be solid. I think that team has a shot to beat the Warriors, because Aldridge, like I said, is a ridiculous matchup that none of the Warriors could stop. He was putting up 30 points a game. The only reason the Spurs lost the series is because they didn't have anyone else on their team. Kawhi Leonard is a top 5 player in the league. LeBron is LeBron. So yeah, I'm just saying, going to the Spurs would be good, but I don't know how realistic that is for LeBron. So we'll just have to see. And lastly, the 76ers. The 76ers, they're pretty interesting because they got guys like Ben Simmons and JJ Redick, who I don't know if they're gonna bring back. I think for him to bring him back and to get LeBron, he would have to take a pay cut, which is okay because he was making the most money of his career last year. So, and he was also getting like averaging the most of his career last year as well. So if he takes a bit of a pay cut, then I think the 76ers should be fine. You got a guy like Ben Simmons, then you got a guy like JJ Redick, then you got a guy like LeBron, and then Saric and Embiid. Off the bench, you still got Covington, Fultz, McConnell, Amir Johnson. So I guess it could work. LeBron at the Sixers. I just don't want to see, like I said, there's like Ben Simmons and LeBron in the same court would be like how would that work? Because you got a guy like Ben Simmons who's basically the same version of LeBron, except he can't shoot whatsoever. So when LeBron, like the Celtics defended Ben Simmons perfectly. So and they also like the only reason they they lost to LeBron and the Cavs is because the Cavs had LeBron, and the Cavs had open shooters whenever LeBron was driving and kicking. So when LeBron is driving and kicking with the 76ers, the point guard position you can just double team off of because Ben Simmons can't shoot for his life. Joel Embiid is always going to be in the post. The only other two guys that you can even pass to are JJ Redick and Saric, and one of Ben Simmons' defenders can just help on either one or help on LeBron. So I don't know how that's gonna work. And then you have the bench, who have, like, you know, I guess Robert Covington is a good defender, but other than that, they have some defensive liabilities. So Marco Bellinelli isn't defending anything. So I don't know. LeBron to the Sixers would be pretty nice, I guess, but we'll just have to wait and see. All right, next, this is a name that hasn't been thrown out a lot, just particularly because he's injured. He's not going to be back until like mid next season ish. But that's DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie. Him, yeah, best center in the league, in my opinion. Joel Embiid's gonna catch up to him, but he's the best center still. All right, so this is a pretty weird situation for Boogie, man. I mean, Pelicans, I wish they had DeMarcus, because if they had DeMarcus, I really think they could have challenged the Warriors. They swept the Blazers. They took one game away without DeMarcus, and with DeMarcus, I feel like they could have either taken the Warriors to 6 or 7, or potentially have even beaten them too. So, yeah. Everyone is expecting, I don't know, a lot of people are expecting DeMarcus to, no one really knows where he's going to go. There's been a lot of rumors to the Mavs, which I guess could work, because you got Dennis Smith, Luka, who I'm really high on. You got a guy like, I don't know, who's the JJ Barea or Yogi, or whoever the shooting guard is. Then you got a guy like Dwight Powell at power forward, and then you couldn't have DeMarcus at center off the bench. You still got Nerlens Noel. I don't know if he's gonna stay or not. But you have Nerlens Noel, Seth Curry. I forgot to mention him. You still got guys. I guess DeMarcus, he could fit in that system. He could also go to the Lakers, because the Lakers lack a center, so he could go to the Lakers, and he could team up with another All-Star like either Paul George, LeBron. See, the difference between Paul George and LeBron versus Paul George and DeMarcus, or LeBron and DeMarcus, is that having DeMarcus Cousins on your team along with another star really challenges the Warriors, especially if that star is a LeBron James or the star is a Paul George. Because, Paul George, if you have Paul George and DeMarcus Cousins, first of all, Paul George, underrated defender. He's going to play his defense under Ant. Lonzo Ball, also pretty underrated defender. He's not going to he's not going to lock up Curry, but he's still going to play defense on him. If you want, you can even hide him. And I don't know, if they get rid of Luol Deng's contract, get Kawhi Leonard, and trade away Ingram, and get DeMarcus Cousins. Forget about LeBron. Starting lineup: Lonzo Ball, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, whoever the power forward is at that time. Might be Julius Randle, might be someone else, and DeMarcus Cousins. Defensively, that team is dope. DeMarcus Cousins, he doesn't have to play any defense because the Warriors don't have any big men that could actually threaten him inside. Draymond Green is he's just an energy player. So you just need a guy who's gonna stay with him at all times, disrupt his drives to the basket and his post up opportunities or whatever. You got guys like Kawhi and Paul George who can one of the two can guard Durant, the other one can guard Curry, and then Lonzo can just chase Klay Thompson around the perimeter. So if you have that team, give me that team over the Warriors. I'm saying it right now. If you have that team, if you have the Lakers with Ball, Paul George, Kawhi, Cousins, and whoever the 4 is, I'm taking them over the Lakers. The Warriors. So yeah. And also people are saying that Lonzo Ball is gonna get traded to the Spurs if they get Kawhi Leonard, and I don't know. Well, I don't see how that's gonna happen. Because first of all, the Spurs already said they're not gonna trade to the Western Conference team. What I'm doing right now is all speculation. Like, maybe, what if they could? Like, I don't know. Like, this is like a what if scenario, I guess. But Lonzo Ball would never get traded to the Spurs because Greg Popovich wouldn't be dealing with a guy like LeVar behind the scenes. Like, I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but it's true. Like, you wouldn't want a guy like LeVar messing you up if you're Greg Popovich. I also forgot to mention, if you're the Spurs, you should try to keep Kawhi Leonard. Try to talk it out with him, because you remember what happened last year when someone requested a trade and they got traded to a team, and that team is now in a better situation than the team that he got traded from. Yeah, I'm talking about Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving, when he got traded for Isaiah Thomas, Nets pick, to Jay Crowder, and so basically Rodney Hood and George Hill and Zizic. So that trade, the Celtics won easily. Like, I mean, everyone at the time was saying the Cavs are gonna win, but Isaiah Thomas isn't the same player. Colin Sexton was that Brooklyn Nets pick. He's not really all that, I guess. Like, he's okay, but he's not like star. He's not gonna be a star. And then you got a guy like Rodney Hood, who can fill it up when he wants to. George Hill getting overpaid, but yeah, I don't know. Zizic doesn't touch the floor, so they won that. Kyrie Irving's team, I mean, the Boston Celtics won that trade. So if you're the Spurs, you should be seeing that, observing what happened last year, and saying, oh, maybe you shouldn't trade Kawhi because, you know, his value's already gone down. We're gonna get lowballed. Someone's gonna offer us some stupid deal that we might accept. So just try to talk it out with them. Try to, you know, have a meeting, because if anyone can pull a guy out of a situation that wants to be traded, it's the Spurs. I don't care who says what. The Spurs can do this. So I think they should just, you know, take it easy. Don't panic, because, like, I know the Spurs won't panic, but just don't panic. Try to either explore your options for Kawhi, or just sit down, talk with him. Do this again, because he got traded after they had a talk. But do this again. Try to reason with him, and, you know, just try to get him to stay. Maybe getting LeBron will help. Maybe, I don't know, getting a free agent, getting rid of Pau Gasol or whatever. But yeah, just try to convince Kawhi to stay if you're the Spurs, or trade him to the Eastern Conference. Don't trade him to the West if you're the Spurs. If you're a team like the Lakers, try anything and everything you can, except for trading Lonzo Ball, because you still want a guy like him around. To the Spurs, trade everyone else is untouchable except for Lonzo Ball. You can try to no, everyone else is not untouchable, sorry, but you can just try to trade anyone else for Kawhi. Try to persuade the Spurs. If you're the Spurs, you're not agreeing to any deal that the Lakers or any other Western Conference team is asking, because you want to trade him to the East. Alright, so I think I'm going to wrap it up right here. We touched on a lot of these trades, mainly Kawhi and LeBron. There were some, you know, sprinklings of trades that I threw in here and there as well. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. Leave a like, and I'll upload a video next time. So if y'all leave likes, then I'll keep uploading videos, and you guys will be happy, and so will I. So yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you later. Peace.